Hello and welcome to our thought for the day on Thursday the 23rd of June. Today I'm going to read Jesus' words and teaching recorded in Luke's Gospel, chapter 12, verses 32 to 40. I'm reading from the New International Version of the Bible. He says, "Do not be afraid, little flock, for your Father has been pleased to give you the kingdom. Sell your possessions and give to the poor. Provide purses for yourselves that will not wear out, a treasure in heaven that will never fail, where no thief comes near and no moth destroys. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Be dressed ready for service and keep your lamps burning, like servants waiting for their master to return from a wedding banquet, so that when he comes and knocks, they can immediately open the door for him. It will be good for those servants whose master finds them watching when he comes. Truly I tell you, he will dress himself to serve, will have them recline at the table, and will come and wait on them. It will be good for those servants whose master finds them ready, even if he comes in the middle of the night or towards daybreak. But understand this, if the owner of the house had known at what hour the thief was coming, he would not have let his house be broken into. You also must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect him." There are many thoughts, instructions and analogies to consider in this passage, but there are three main themes. First, do not be afraid. Second, store up heavenly treasure. And third, be ready for the kingdom of God. Absolutely central to the message of Luke's Gospel is a very simple words: do not be afraid. Fear is a perfectly natural response, thinking of all the bad things that keep happening. But the God in whom we believe is a God of love, and perfect love casts out fear. So fear not, trust in God, and as Mother Julian of Norwich reminds us, all will be well, for contrary to appearances, God remains in charge. So Jesus says to us, his little flock, fear not. Then what about our treasure? How do we prioritise our resources, our time, our money, and our energy, and our heart? Does our material worth balance or even rise above our generous giving and serving God's kingdom? For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And thirdly, be ready. I used to find this requirement to always be ready quite daunting. What if I was distracted, caught off guard, daydreaming, or even worse, questioning, doubting God, or simply not obeying? The early church looked forward to Christ's coming with great anticipation. However, by the time this gospel was written, Christians were beginning to understand that Christ's coming was being delayed beyond their expectation. Today, looking back on 2,000 years of Christian history, we find it difficult to expect that Christ will come during our lifetime. However, we need to know that the world is not moving aimlessly through time, but that God has a plan. The New Testament teaches us that Christ's second coming is an important part of God's plan for our world, so it is an important element of our Christian faith. Much effort has gone into predicting the time of Christ's return, but such efforts are always fruitless. The Son of Man will come at an unexpected hour. It says, like a thief in the night. The question then is, how can we prepare for the Lord's coming? We can prepare not by being always awake, but by being always faithful. Christ's return at an unexpected time is not a trap or a trick which God hopes to catch us off guard. In fact, perhaps our loving God is delaying his return so more people will have the opportunity to follow him. Before Christ returns, we have time to live out our beliefs and reflect Jesus' love as we relate to others. Earlier in this chapter, we learned that those who are ready for their Lord's return are not hypocritical but sincere, not fearful but ready to witness, not worried but trusting, not greedy but generous, not lazy but diligent. Could we be more Christ-like, so that when he comes we will be ready to greet him joyfully? Being ready for Jesus' second coming is less about any actual time and place and more about imagining Jesus' activity in the world when and where you least expect it or imagine seeing it. In other words, waiting around and waiting for instructions is not helpful. Fear, treasure, and being prepared is the pattern for discipleship. Being without fear, knowing the source of our treasure, that is our identity and our worth, makes it possible to be prepared for and be an actual participant in God's kingdom. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.